All right, peace and love, everyone. Welcome back to another weekly forecast. And I'm glad to be with you all. And I hope that we can get some things cleared up for some people this week and be able to give you some insight what's going to take place. Um, so, right off the bat, last week was a great week to get a lot of things accomplished and just have a good time. But this week, and especially moving forward for March, there's going to be more. Um, of the workload that everyone has to partake in. And when you look at the amount of transits that's going to be taking place, the squares, oppositions, few trines, a few sextiles in there, there's going to be a lot of mixed emotions and a lot of different things taking place as far as your personal endeavors and emotional stability. So, peace and love, Mother Lakesia, Sister Imam. Good to see you all on the chat. Um, and I'm just going to give you what's going to take place this week, and then we're going to jump into some cosmic insights, what's been going on around the world. Well, in particular, people have been asking about the Ukraine situation, so I want to speak on it briefly. And then, of course, I'm going to do another live. Just been uh, very, very busy trying to get the classes and everything. All the information ready to go. This Sunday will be spring equinox, so the beginning of the spring equinox tradition. So trying to get everything prepared and ready to go for you all for the classes and everything. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me see here. Here we go. All right. So to start off, this is for today. We have the moon in Leo, 9 degrees. The sun is still in Pisces, so happy solar return to all my Pisces. Um, and you have Neptune in Pisces is home, Jupiter in Pisces home, Mercury transition into Pisces. This is all taking place in the 10th house. So for my Pisces, sun, moon, or rising, if you're dealing with a lot of uh, career issues right now, or things being in the public eye or spotlight, or just your uh, different career positions are highlighted at this time, could be important for you right now. That's what you could be thinking with this Mercury. The way that you're trying to solve your current situations is through career or some type of film or some type of production. Okay, so this could even be with writing. This can be with interpreting, commerce, some type of manager, any of those things. But you have this stellium in the 10th house, and then you have the moon that is in Leo in the third house. So right off the back, this week you're going to have a overly um, well, you're gonna have a lot of overreactions to a lot of different things taking place with this moon here, because you got this opposition with the moon in Leo opposed to Mars, and Mars is in Aquarius in the ninth house. So the things that you're learning, you could be trying to defend the things that you've learned when it comes to religious aspects within the community, and this can make things really warm up and be dramatic because you got Leo. Leo is about drama when it comes to the moon being there, and this way of defending can be with thoughts. You got this air in Aquarius, and so this opposition begins and basically sparks it off. Then you have Mars also going to be squaring against Uranus, um, and Uranus here is in Taurus. Okay, so it's in the 12th house. So uh, right now is all about shaking up those fears that you may have of the unseen. You may not know the direction, or you may know the direction that you're trying to go towards, but you may be in fear of pursuing that direction because you don't know exactly that those steps to get there, and that's where Uranus is shaking things up. It's direct in Taurus, but you have the North Node retrograde in Taurus with the South Node that's retrograde in Scorpio. So you have the house of fear, and then you have the house of service. So don't get into a rut because you're trying to serve this emotional desire that you're holding on to from past times or earlier times in your life. Okay, you're so used to uh, being fixed in your nature about going about your desires. And this is where you've been called to try to shift and get into a more earth energy, but it's that opposition, you holding on to the past versus going forward. This is why Uranus is there, and this is where the square is being activated to try to get you to learn different things, different approaches to get things to roll in your favor. Okay. um, so that's starting off. That's all today, and plus you have Uranus squaring. On top of all of that, you got Uranus squaring the moon here in Leo. So the fixed signs, this T square fixed signs, is highlighted. Uh, your emotions is strong, and when it comes to being in groups with other people, trying to go about doing things a certain way, it's not going to be strong for everybody to get it done together, because everybody have this fixed emotion and fixed way of doing things. So this is today. So a lot of fixed energy starting off today. A lot of fixed energy, and this energy is going to spill over into the rest of the week. Let's go ahead and look forward. Again, you got a lot of other squares as well, but I think that T square is going to be the start. On Tuesday, this is, you're going to be adding Venus into the mix with this opposition here. So the moon in Leo will be opposing Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius. So, when it comes to emotions, you feel like you want to create all of these different tasks and projects, and take on all these different type of activities. Well, you're going to have Saturn as a reminder to say slow down, and that's where the opposition is going to come in, because you have to be disciplined in the things that you're studying and learning to actually apply it. You're trying to apply a lot of different moving pieces, and that's also going to create more friction as well. And this is on a day that is ruled by Mars. Tuesday is ruled by Mars, so it's all about fighting and combating. You know, I would say self, to not be so stretched thin. Okay, and then you also see, when you look at the lot of fortune, or the part of fortune here, when you learn to overcome your fears this week, to step into the unknown, and learn how to get out of the um, rut, the need to serve others. This is where you'll begin to unlock that fortune here. Through really tapping into your own desires, but seeing how it can help the group. How can you serve yourself to serve others? Um, and that's where that begins. So this is on Tuesday with that added opposition with Saturn. And you still have more to focal point here at the top. Again, and those are the only two things right now, retrograde the nodes. So on Wednesday, on Wednesday, this is where you'll begin to see more of the trines take place. You have, this trine here, Neptune in Pisces, trining this part of fortune in Scorpio. So this is a great water trine. Many trines here. So trines are the easy aspects. They're favorable. So when it comes to the career, now you're finally doing something that's worthwhile, that you're laboring for, you're putting in service for, that is meeting the criteria of your heart's desires. And now you're able to really push forward. And that's good. You still have the squares taking place with Saturn squaring that fortune, because again, it still needs to be discipline met with your desires. And then there's also again, Mars is still making its presence felt with those squares as well. Okay, so you got to keep this all in mind. Peace and love to dear Marshall. Um, let me see here. And then you have, let's see, on Thursday. On Thursday, this is St. Patrick's Day. If you all don't know about St. Patrick's Day, this is where they attribute this holiday to St. Patrick, who actually had a hand in running out the snakes. Okay, from Ireland, and if you don't know what the snakes were the Nagas, the Moors, that they ran out. That was you. Okay, that was you in history, or in time. And this day is normally celebrated in Ireland, with a bunch of liquor, a bunch of fighting, a bunch of celebratory, whatever traditions that they have. But this holiday is actually going to be the theme of the week, where people are going to be already in that mode even before this holiday gets here on Thursday. Jupiter is about drinking. It is about being merry and going overboard and things like that. But they're already going to be, everybody's going to be into this form before you even get to Thursday. So, again, you got a lot of great oppositions on Thursday: Moon in Virgo, Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune, the Sun, all opposing the Moon in the fourth house. So, when it comes to your emotional needs, you could be over analyzing things or extra moody. When it comes to the way that you think, see, and envision your future, um, and that can create other squares or activate other squares that will be taking place. So as you can see, those squares are going to stick around. You're just going to be adding in more oppositions this week with a few trines and sextiles, but um, that's where the fighting will continue. And on Friday, this is where things begin to, let's see, Friday is when things begin to lighten up a little. Um, where that moon moves to Libra. You still got that opposition, but now more of those planets are focusing this energy on this trine to the south node, where you have to get out of your comfort zone of just focusing on your desires when it comes to employment or serving other people. Now you have to get out of those stuck ways as fixed energy. Scorpio is a fixed sign, and really embrace this creative, intuitive side with Neptune and Pisces and all of these planets here in Pisces. Okay. All right. So that's Friday. And then on Saturday. Okay. On Saturday, yeah, you're still going to have this square with the North Node, being squared by Mars. Okay. And then you throw Pluto in the mix. Um, this is still that fighting energy, the need to take control over your possessions and your resources. So you're gonna want to take control of that. It's gonna be tough because again, this is a uncharted territories right here, the 12th house. It's some fears. This is gonna be institutionalized, things that's taking place, and then you still have Pluto and Capricorn that's been there for a while, but this is the challenge to rebuild or reshape your destiny. And that's why you have Uranus there to help out in Taurus. So, okay, that's Saturday. And then we're going to close off. I'm actually going to do the live Sunday. That's going to be beginning of the spring equinox, and we can start it off there. Peace and love, Natalie and Pernell. So, people have been asking me. So that's. Do anybody have any questions about this week ahead? Actually, and let me not. This is actually going to be a full moon on Friday, so full moon uh, is going to reveal a lot. Uh, and by this time, the moon will have been in Libra, but it'll be in Virgo, transitioning to Libra. So you know that the moon is full when it's that 180-degree opposition. So Pisces and Virgo is opposition. So this is just had moved out, so it's into that waning phase. Anybody have any questions about that? Any questions? Okay, so people have been asking about the whole your email and about the Ukraine situation. Um, well, for one, for starters, you know that anytime you view things like this, it's a lot of uh, distractions to say the least. But when you observe it on the surface, you just see alleged war. Now, soldiers don't start wars. People start wars and send soldiers. So people in positions of power. So, and then they have their reasons for why they're doing it. And you can see that the U.S. is always have their hand. The U.S. corporation owners always have their hand in wars all over the world. And so, um, the U.S. corporate owners have biolabs all over the world, and in these biolabs, they are doing research and testing for their um, uh, Kool-Aid packages. And so basically, this is what this war is about partially. So um, when you see the propaganda coming out from the West about what's going over in other country, any other country for that matter, um, you get to see how the West is controlling the narrative. Where if you were to see it from outside sources, you'll see that that's not actually what is taking place. The biolabs is being called to shut down, and that's what this is all about. And so when you have Russia is saying shut them down, Ukraine, the U.S. have biolabs in Ukraine, and they don't want to shut them down along with bases. And so now, that's what that's about. And so the Western propaganda media, they're trying to say that it's all about it's a distraction because it's taken away from climate change. Okay, now that might be true. The issue is that who's causing the climate change? Who's behind the climate change? Who's the um, source? And the source is the same people who've been colonizing the planet. So they're trying to distract you to make it seem like this war is a distraction when no, your actions is the cause of all of this. And you have a lot of Western media from UK to Canada, all over, are talking about how this is a distraction from the climate change, when in actuality, it's a distraction from their actions, what they're doing. Um, and so now the World Economic uh, Forum, they are going to, they have vowed to put uh, anyone who resists this new change, this global change, into these camps, just like in China, they had in China. Now that they're promising that, and in a lot of places, it's already sparked off in different countries. I know in Australia they already started detaining people, um, and because of this alleged war, you see that prices rise. Inflation is continuing, and that's all due to the actions of the same colonizer company owners that we see in place now. Um, and so, what have been recently discovered is that there have been a lot of birds. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. A lot of birds that have been dropping dead and been, washing up the shore. A lot of different things like that, birds and bats and things. But it was just placed on the international community that to spread a lot of the Kool-Aid, they've also been using birds and bats. And the United Nations have been put on notice that the U.S. have been doing this, using a lot of these things. Now we know that when birds migrate, that they go to different places, and we've been seeing different birds from Russia, actually from all over here in America. So a lot of the birds that they have out, even the DARPA, if you don't know what that is, DARPA, look that up, Boston uh, Robotics Dynamics, they are able to emulate pretty much anything. And so this is how they've been also carrying the packages for the Kool-Aid as well, to give to people. So they've been just found out, and that's what that's all about. And the people there, that's being in the middle of this war, if they've been, a lot of them been interviewed, a lot of them been polled, and they've even said that they would be rather be uh, governed by the Russian government versus the uh, government that they already had in place. And this just goes to show you that this part of it won't be fully disclosed to our people over here. Um, okay, and so speaking of this, going back to this whole uh, birds and bats and things like that flying, carrying the Kool-Aid packages, you got to also be aware that a lot different, I know the de facto corporation of New York, they have lifted the bans. Like the de facto corporation of DC, they have lifted bans um, and mandates for masks and whatever. But with that, a lot of people gonna want to go running out and doing different things. But you have to be aware that Bill Gates and his team, they have just released GMO mosquitoes as a test run in California and in Florida. And so basically, these GMO mosquitoes, they're deadly, and they come from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And so they're using technology, infusing them into these mosquitoes. And back in the day, when you get bit by a mosquito, you might be like, you just swat it off or whatever. But now it's like, even when you swat it, they're still biting down hard. And that's not by mistake, because some of these things that you're getting bit by are not even natural or organic. Okay, so definitely going to have some protection, or just be mindful of that's coming, because they are going to be especially this summer releasing a lot of things, because they have a schedule to meet, and they're trying to meet this by 2050. 2030 is the benchmark, and 2050 is the long term. So again, going back to that sustainable development plan, that's for 2030, but 2050 they have a benchmark for 2030, and in 2050 they want to see actual tangible results. And with people um, you know more aware of what's going on with the agenda, now they're trying to take other measures. So be on the lookout for the Florida and California, also in Texas as well. These mosquitoes to be tested, and this is bio warfare. Okay, but it further goes to show you that this stuff is already pre-planned. Just like in 2019, the the Democrats already signed on to a letter stating that they were going to arm Ukraine with weapons to fight, because this was already in the making for years. And anytime they um, fund anybody or put any militarization weapons or anything behind anything, they're going to have a plan. So they spent 1.5 trillion, or they funded 1.5 trillion to their military to fight against Russia. So this was already in the making, already planned. So it was a coup on top of a coup on top of a coup on top of many, many, many coups. And so the most recent coup that took place was the one in 2020. And so this was to fund that and help back them to keep all of these things in their power. And now the DHS has now stated that they're going to go after anybody who disagree or call it fake or whatever about the elections and about the legitimacy of um, Joe Biden. And speak of him, Joe Biden, his doctor is Obama's old doctor, and they're saying that he is mentally senile, that he's done basically. So he has dementia and Alzheimer's and all different type of. That's what they're called. That's what they're saying, and they're calling for him to step down. Um, and when Kamala gets in office, it's over. She has no allegiance to no one but herself. So, in her inner circle. So these are some of the things that is on the brink of happening. Um, yeah. Okay, my Lacasia says Pisces and Virgo waning. Can you repeat that? Yes. So okay, you going back to that is the you're talk yeah, so when the moon is in so when the sun is in Pisces and the moon is in Virgo, that's a full moon. Once it moves past that Virgo and gets into Libra, it begins to wane and shrink. Um, so when it's full in Virgo, then when it goes into Libra, it begins to wane and shrink. Okay. Anybody have any questions about any of that or anything I said? Also, I forgot to do the tarot. So the Four of Wands popped up. Four of Wands popped up. So this is going to be crucial. Issues of the home this week, uh, surrounding the home. Um, this can be transitioning in the home. This can be reshaping or redecorating the home. That's going to definitely pop up this week for some of you. And for others, this is some of you are going to be stubborn when it comes to taking on new information and studying and being even receptive. This could be the disruption energy that you have. This can be this is the self doing. Okay, so it's not dealing with other people at this time. And then you have okay, Seven of Cups. Some of you are so in your head you won't move. Too many objectives and activities. Too many, and so many that you have the right one in the midst of the cup, but it just eludes you because you keep thinking of more. Five of Wands. Some of you who was in a constant battle, um, you know, you were in this battle and it actually lost you finances and resources. Now, uh, it seems like it's not coming to an end, and that's because there's some things that keep getting ignited in this battle. Uh, okay, the Lovers in reverse. The Lovers in reverse. Some of you have been parted ways with a group or community, and this is where some of you are separated from a spouse or consort or partner, or even in a group. Uh, you were removed or you left on your own terms. Well, the terms were not clear. Let's see about that. I got a card that popped out too. Malika of Swords upright. Some of you are thinking on the right path, upright. You really have that mental sharpness and focus that you need. So that's good. And you see here, the butterfly is next to the head. So thinking is what sparks the transformation. So thinking clearly, rather. So that's good. Amir of Swords upright. Okay, so some of you are trying to get on your financial game and just trying to get on a different plan to see things differently, and that's good. Um, this is where you become the general and take charge of the situation. So that's a great card. Strength in reverse. Okay, some of you are allowing your lower self to rule you and take over. So, of course, that will be the problem, and that will be a reason why this the lovers in reverse, because you can't control your lower self, and it's not always the other person. Okay, so that's what you also have to realize. Stop blaming others. Prince of Wands in reverse. Yeah, you're not kind to yourself or anyone else right now. So yeah, when you are not controlling your lower self, you're not in control, and then when you're not in control, you actually can't think right or properly, and that actually causes you to do improper actions. Okay, and for some of you, here's the Ace of Disc. This is where you will be actually going to the root of your foundation of finances and resources, because right now it could be scarce, especially with this March. They could say March Madness of all this stuff that's about to take place for March. Um, well, let's say for the next 2 weeks. Uh, but I will say that the equinox or new season is coming, so that's always good. This is like the preparation stage. So, like when you go out and reap your fruit from your garden, your vegetables from your garden. You plucking, and you have to go pluck. Sometimes you might get pricked, and you got to clean it up, and then you also got to clean off your fruit. So that's this phase where we at now. Not completely bad, but still needs to be some picking and plucking and cleaning. This is what popped out. Nine of Cups in reverse. Some of you are not grateful right now for the things that you do have, and you don't view it that way. This is where you begin to look at others. You do have uh, resources, but you're looking at other people's resources. And I would say, based off of this, your home is the start. The home is all starts in the home. Now, this could be physical, um, your physical home, apartment, house, complex, whatever. But it's also could be the home of your heart or your mind. So, for some of you, you have to clean up your mind. There's a new season coming, and you should be changing with that. Because some of you have been in jail. It's Nine of Cups, Nine of Wands. So you've been in jail mentally, and if you're going to escape that and break out of that, uh, you have to start looking at things differently. Um, Not everyone is against you, and you could be, even looking at somebody who really cares and desires to help you as an enemy, and they're not. Or happy solar return, Sadia. Hit me up so we can get that chart read. A solar return, and that's another thing. If your solar return today, happy solar return to you. Let's get your chart done, and yeah. So this is a good reading. So some of you have been dealing with this situation. And it's all starting with the foundation of you, your mind, your heart, your emotions, your will, and it seems like it's an ongoing battle. Let's see if it will. When will it end? Eight of Cups. This is going to be a destiny, a journey that you have to walk. This is Saturn. Saturn is all about that discipline. So this is where you're lacking it right now, and it could be because you want to change in scenery, a change in the environment. So if your home is dirty, go ahead and clean it up, or just rearrange some things so that you can have a different perspective on uh, your environment. Can't work in a dirty space or disorganized space. So organize, clean, and spring is coming up, so this is spring cleaning season. So um, get ready to change your mindset, your mentality. Okay. And in the end, once you do that, Princess of Disc upright. Okay, now um, this is where you'll be able to get your resources to where you desire, be able to call the shots, to be able to lend and give with favor. Now, the moon is waxing. So if you need to go out for job in employment or job interviews and things like that, it's a good time to do that. Um, Try to focus on your resources to better your situation or circumstances, and I think again it all goes back to that Four of Wands um, in the home. Okay, so you got to clean up the home, whether it's the physical home or your mental home, or it could be your spiritual home. uh Metaphysically speaking, sage yourself down, um, ground, get rid of some of that energy you've been carrying around. That definitely will make a huge impact on this whole scenario. Do anybody have any questions on any of that? Okay, no questions. All right, so we're going to continue to work to get this stuff prepared for you all. I'm excited. We got new classes coming. Just been super, super busy. A lot of stuff been going on personally and uh, as far as business for me. So just stay patient with us, and we're going to keep you all updated. Um, and again, if it is your solar return, go ahead and reach out, email, and we're gonna take care of you. And I'll see you all on the next live. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your week. And don't forget to remember that it all starts with your mentality and your mind. No problem, Queen Nefertiti. And this week is going to be a tough one with some squares, but you're going to make it through. And we're going to go live on Sunday to go over uh, the spring equinox, and we're going to go ahead and start you off right. And you guys enjoy the rest of your week. So peace and love, and Hotep, may your soul find satisfaction. Peace.